Kia ora whānau, welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute. My name is Te Haunui Tuna, and this is a Moko walkthrough. Haven't done one of these, but I've come up with a concept, and I think it will work, but let's go. Episode 1. So, what I want to talk about today is this Moko sleeve that I did on Mike Jonathan a couple of months ago, and really just talk about my approach, what I'm looking at, why it looks the way it looks. And first, one of the things that's important to me when doing moko or tattoos in general on the body is making sure that they fit the area that you're tattooing, in this case the arm. And I like to think about the anatomy. So if you break down the arm, you've got your deltoid or your shoulder, comes down into here, which is your bicep. There's this muscle in here that you don't usually see on people who ain't bodybuilders, pretty much. And then you've got the tricep, which is over here, and then you have your forearm, and here's this muscle over here that creates this line, and then the rest of your forearm, obviously. So that's sort of the basic anatomy of the arm. And then in consideration, when you think about that, let me just break it down. One of the things I've done with this moko in particular is I've made lines that flow along from the back of the arm or from the shoulder and the tricep into the forearm. So that's the sort of flow that I was going for, and you can see it, with the negative space with this puhoro and stuff. And one of the parts of this piece that I'm stoked with is this flow right here. And when you're looking at it from this angle, this line here cuts straight into that forearm, and it's really about creating or accentuating the natural flows of the arm. So that line there flows straight onto there, which is pleasing to the eye, and it's one part of this moko that I'm stoked with. And usually I do a lot of symmetrical pieces. If you follow me and you'll see my mahi, you'll notice that symmetry is one of the big things that I like to focus on. But in this piece I wanted to focus on having flow be the main strength. So I didn't want to have a big line coming down the middle, which is usually what I do. And this was just a different approach that I wanted to try. I felt like trying that this day. And that's and with the shoulder, I've got these manaya up in here, mouth, head. And I wanted to try something that didn't take up the whole shoulder and left a bit of the skin there, and it was really just areas to breathe. And the thing about having areas to breathe like this and that is it really makes the eye focus on these areas that are tattooed into the skin. So another thing that I did in this piece was create these lines here. You'll see it on this original photo we had up. So you've got these lines, which is the curl of the puhoro, or the head of the puhoro. And it was something that was actually coincidental, and there's another one over here. You can sort of just see a puhoro around there. So I've got these lines going on, which are contrasting angles to this flow, which goes that way. And it's subtle, you may not have noticed it if you didn't look for it, but now that I'm telling you, you probably can't unsee it. And these are just little areas to add something a little bit more special to the piece and really drive home that approach, design influence, and I'm making a huge deal of composition. If you look at this whole piece, it's pretty simple, pretty basic. The only really parts of this whole moko that stand out are these and these manaya, really. And other than that, the rest of it is pretty simple and clean core Wi-Fi. And then you've also got these little areas of skin that I've left just to make other points of interest. And the reason I like to do a few points of interest or a few contrasting parts of a moko is so that those areas sing. Because if I were to do all of these super detailed, super funky areas throughout the whole piece, it would be overwhelming. Your eye wouldn't know where to look, wouldn't know where to start. And these parts only look different and only look special because of the contrast between that and these simple repetitive designs throughout the rest of it. So look, if you're just looking at this, you've got this feature here and those features there, which are, and then all the rest of it's pretty simple. But if I were to do features here, 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 for example, now look at the arm. There's a bunch of stuff everywhere, which, if that's your cup of tea, that's your cup of tea. But for me personally, knowing when to pull back is just important as knowing how to do super detailed, complex pieces as well. So yeah, that was my design approach. This is a new take on Moko walkthroughs. Hope you fellas enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you loved it. And I'll see you fellas in the next one. Mauri ora.